Good morning, Purpose Works. So we're gonna get to know each other today. So whether you want to stay seated or not, I'm gonna have you network because that's the whole point of today. I didn't even prep Bart to say what he said, but networking, the gold is in your network. So you can hire someone like myself to go dig into your network and do LinkedIn automation. But I today want to talk about the strategy and purpose of networking because within your network of people that you've known for over 20 years, I'm telling you that's where your gold is. Not only is your purpose, but your strategy. So, just a little bit about me. I already told you I've been doing this 10 years, married. My daughter's my helper here today. She's homeschooled in 13. You all should have received a card. There's purpose for the card as well. Yeah, if you don't, do you need one? Here, babe, I'm going to give these back to you. I am a super connector. I work with Fiesta founders and Faith Tech. I've just gotten my name out there. I've been featured in articles and built in Austin and love to travel and experience new cultures. So just love people in general. Here's some pictures of my family. We love Halloween, so I've got some Halloween photos up here. I've got a quote as well. We're from the country. My husband actually was born out in Caldwell, so I don't know if anybody knows where that's at, but just genuine, super genuine family. We've got 3 golden noodles, as I already told you. Always be networking and giving back to your community. That is the best way that you will find purpose, not only in life, but in getting your next career. So this is just a timeline of my professional biography. I'm not going to read off to it, but I've got slides and presentations that we can share. I don't know if we're recording this either, but here's some testimonials. These are all on my LinkedIn for ways that I've helped companies. So my bread and butter has been recruiting for companies, mostly in software as a service, IT companies. I can recruit for any industry, though. I can recruit the phone book. So that's been the bulk of what I've done. Recently, in the last 2 years, I started doing career coaching. So executive coaching with people like you looking for work. So I've already told you my introduction. We're going to have 3 different levels of networking questions. One is to get to know the person. That's why I'm going to have you either go into 2 groups of 2 or 3 just to uncover each person's specific needs and problems and goals, right? What are your objectives? We're going to identify ways you can provide value and explore potential collaboration. So at the end, I've got some what does Jesus have to say about intentional networking and community building? He has a lot to say actually about it. And I've got a list of upcoming dates for future networking events in November for you to go practice these strategies. So what's the definition of intentional networking? I'll let you read that, but there's a lot to say about it. It's not only long-term perspective and mutual benefit, it's quality over quantity. How long have we been hearing that? A really, really long time. It's intentional networking is a strategic approach to build and maintain professional relationships with a clear purpose in mind. So when you go to a networking event, it's always great to say, I'm going to meet 3 people intentionally today. I'm going to remember what they were wearing. I'm going to write in my phone their first name. Maybe they wore glasses. Maybe they had green eyes. I'm going to remember those 3 people. It is quality over quantity. I could care less if you meet 9 people and don't remember any of them or have a quality conversation. So that's the big key takeaway there. So let's get to level 1 questions. That's if you have a card that my daughter handed out, one of those little index cards, we're going to go through, pardon? Yes, my assistant helped. So we're going to go through rapport building questions. I don't find these difficult, but some people find this challenging. Just to ask, how did you get started in your line of work? If that's something that's challenging for you, write it down because you're going to work on what's challenging for you here shortly within your groups. How about level 2, needs identifying questions? This one's a tough one for people. What are your top 2 professional goals? How are you currently addressing your challenges or goals right now? The market's tough. We all should be learning from each other. about what is working and what isn't. That's the whole point of Purpose Works. This is by far my best organization that I've ever spoken with, besides Faith Tech, for networking. What personal maybe they're, y'all were unemployed. I hope you're working on a personal passion project right now. You're never going to get this time back to decide who you want to be next and get to know yourself again. This is the best time. Take on a personal project, find a buddy, find a friend or a colleague, a former colleague, and work on something. I'm telling you, the people you'll meet will go way beyond your wildest dreams. Um, and do you have anything exciting coming up or fun? That one's a hard one for my church group. Actually, my ladies group said that's really hard to ask, which I find to be not difficult at all. But then again, I'm the one talking about networking. So if that's tough for you, write it down. These are pretty generic. These are opportunity exploring questions. These are level 3. So these are now literally showing the person that you've been networking with that you've been paying attention and listening. So level 3 is at the very deepest, where you're asking based on what you've shared or based on, Sally, what you just said to me. I believe I might be able to help you. Can we get together? All of you should have a calendar, an online calendar. They're free now. You should send them out on LinkedIn to your friends, to your network, in LinkedIn saying, I'm in a predicament or I'm in a situation now where I'm going to be vulnerable. And I'm asking, and this is what I can give back. So be clear about what you can give back, but include your calendar link and say, let's connect for 15 minutes. I'd love to share with you what I'm up to. That can be really uncomfortable for people. That's where the gold is. The gold is being vulnerable with people. Okay? I'm going to give you a few more minutes to write these down, and then we're going to practice them together. And I'm going to get involved with y'all, with a group, and kind of float around. These are the networking events. Definitely take a picture of this. Founders is for women only. It's November 5th. They will be announcing it very soon, probably before Friday, when that'll be. It's usually at a female entrepreneurial investor's business. Um, there's the Cedar Park, it's right here. It's called the Plug and Play. It is amazing. It's all IT, manufacturing, electrical. It's probably filled with over 200 people. I can't think of a better place to go practice networking than there. Everybody's friendly. Then there's Fiesta, which is absolutely so crazy as far as the amount of people. It's wall to wall. So you come with your list of questions. Yeah, don't go to Fiesta because it's wall to wall. Um, yeah, so I know about them because I know to Google them, right? Because and I'm happy to pass along my tricks and tools of with Craig so he can share them out. But I've been to all these networking events and 10 more. And I have cherry picked the ones in November that I think would give you guys the best leverage of these strategies and networks. You can, but you got to put in the dots. Oh, you can totally go. It's open to anybody. Oh, what they are. What? Sure, sure. Yeah. Right. No, these are not on Meetup. These are literally just for Austin community. So the and most of them are word of mouth. That's right. That's right. Fiesta is founders, investors, entrepreneurs, startups, techies, and Austin. That's what Fiesta stands for. It's a hidden gem run by Cherie and John Werner in town. It's a nonprofit. So is Founders, and that's run by Cherie Werner. Leander Connections. That's it's really awesome. Again, they have that downtown at Gibson Street weekly on Wednesday. That one's pretty big as well. It's always at that same location. Success Champion Networking, they have meetings every Thursday, third Thursday of the month. And that's a networking event that I'm part of. And that's free to come out and network and go find similar like minded people at. Um, I don't know if it's LinkedIn Austin Connections. Oh, I replaced the Leander. That's why it's doing that. It's Austin Connections Happy Hour in LinkedIn Austin Connections. He's talked about this a lot. Craig has. So he can give you lots of information on Austin Connections. He knows the woman that actually sets it up. And then it's um, big ass social something happy hour, but there's two S's. There's a social something, social with an S, happy hour, and that's third Wednesday of every month, and they draw a pretty big crowd too. Does that answer your questions a little bit? You wouldn't know. That's why I'm trying to share and spread the information. Yeah, that's why it's important to take a picture of this and then you can refine them for December. And they may change just because we're coming up on holidays and there's lots of parties and, holiday events, so they may not hold something in December, but these are for sure all going on in November. Right. Yeah, this is 10 years of networking in Austin. These are some good book recommendations. Thanks, Haven. These are some book recommendations for job seekers. A Christian book, The Search for Significance. The Five Dysfunctions of a Team is phenomenal. You can read Captivate or The Transformation Factor, The Road Less Traveled, Jesus Calling is great. It's prayers, but it's getting into the Word and getting into yourself, and tapping into what your purpose is. Atlas of the Heart is Brene Brown. I'm a huge Brene Brown fan. I don't know if we have any. Usually that's a thing that women are interested in, but a lot of men know about Brene Brown through their wives or significant others. Battlefield of the Mind is getting your mind out of thinking so much about how I have to have a job. It's more focusing on what is the purpose of your next career. And are you aligned? Like Bart said, I mean, he couldn't have teed me up more perfect for today. It's all about being aligned. And then there's Lioness Rising and Freedom. So then I have some intentional networking, community building, and then I've got some verses here. Yes? Yeah? Yes, I did. I did. We went to Idaho and she read it to me and it was excellent. Here's some verses what Jesus says about networking, why it's so important, and then we're going to back up. We're going to ask questions and then we're going to back up and start networking. But I'd love to take anybody's questions today. That was a great one on the how do you find out about these things, and I can put the screen back up. Yes. 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 Yep. And we've missed a lot of them already. Yeah, unfortunately, because it's what day is today? The 21st. Yeah. There'll be some maybe tonight, but any other questions? Yes. No, yeah, you can. So Calendly has a great one. There's probably six different companies that has online calendars that you can use. And what you do is you send that link to your network, people in your network, or anybody you want to catch up with, and tell them, hey, I'm struggling to find a job, or maybe you don't even share that. Maybe you just say I'm looking for my next career adventure, and you include that link in your reach out on LinkedIn. We all get so many depending on what membership subscription you have on LinkedIn. I've got recruiters, so I get like 500 in mail messages, right? So I just include that. But my job seekers that I'm helping with right now have all started to use Calendly, and that's what they're including in our automation reach out to first, second degree connections is that LinkedIn Calendly, 'cause that's the name of the company that I'm using. And you can hook it up to several different calendars. Yes.
Yeah, you're just putting the times available that you are wanting to connect with people. You're not putting like your prostate exam and all those kind of things on there. You're
Oh,
not
they
putting
can't
those
see it.
things
They
out.
can't see
Right.
it.
It's just the things that the times that you
Here, do
want
you
to
want to try
connect
to
with
use that?
people.
Yeah, you would put everything that you already have existing on your calendar and then just the times that you want them to choose from. Correct. Correct. Yep. Yes?
I was just going to say that if you use Google
Yeah.
Gmail, the Google has a calendar. So
Yes.
if you use that, I recently set that up myself.
Did you? And was it easy to set up?
It's very easy.
I thought so.
So I mean, you put a default title like coffee chat or whatever you want to put in there.
Yeah.
And people can.
Will it connect with all your calendars, like all of your different email addresses too?
I have one, so I haven't dealt with that
Okay,
issue.
I've
But
got 5, so I needed something that would do that.
so anyway, you could say how long you want the meeting block to be. So I just put 30-minute
Yes.
increments. And then it just shows every time that I'm available that I haven't blocked out, I'm doing this or that. So if I block out I'm busy, those times just won't be available.
Correct.
And so like I have a meeting with somebody tomorrow morning, somebody grabs some time.
Yes. Perfect. Perfect.
The difference is on Calendly, like you can choose to like make something private on a block. Like you can choose.
I
Isn't
think
that?
I think Google does the same thing.
Yeah, you can like.
It's private, like it doesn't show, people can't see.
No, they can't see what you're doing at all. You're just blocked. You're not available.
They just see available slots.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, then it's basically the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Calendly works with a variety of different email
It
addresses
plugs
and
into
domains.
all your like if you do it on one email address, it'll share to all the other ones.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's the difference.
And then you can choose on Calendly. I don't know if you can on Google because I haven't messed with it. You can choose a 15-minute time blocker, a 30-minute, or a 45 or an hour, depending on my one-on-ones sessions when people hire me. Those are the one-on-one hour blocks. And it always asks for a buffer of time on Calendly if you want 10 minutes in between appointments or 15 minutes between appointments.
I've only played with it a little bit, but there was like a thing that said nobody can schedule something 4 hours or less.
Perfect.
You can set your time.
You can adjust that.
So my afternoon would show not
Yeah.
available if it's noon or whatever.
If anything you take away today that is huge is the calendar and sharing it with people and saying let's catch up. Especially people that go back 20 years. A boss from 20 years ago or a close colleague could go really far that you just didn't even think of hitting up, which is why I use automation tools. Meet Alfred is what I use to send out blasts on LinkedIn to my entire first degree connections. Any other questions before we network? I don't think we need it, baby. I think it's.
You said you were going to show some things on the screen again. Can we look at the level 1, 2, 3 quick?
Yeah, let's go back to that. Oops. Oh, this is his. Let me go back. Which one do you want me to go back to? All of them?
I screenshotted 2 and 3, but I didn't get 1.
Okay. I'll go back.
Maybe others might want to get all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can screenshot them or just I'll keep them up. And then we're going to divide into teams of 2 or 3 and
All of
kind of
these
network
questions
a
are
little
pretty
bit.
helpful.
I didn't realize that Craig had networking baked in as something, but practice different things in that other meeting because there probably are going to be additional people attending just that didn't come to this morning. Let me know when I can move to the level 2.
These are also pretty helpful if you're trying to like get comfortable with someone and then you go to level 2 and then it's like, trying to learn more about them and then level 3 is like the deepest and then it'll help like establish a connection between you guys and show that you actually like, care about what you guys are talking about instead of just, being super like the tip of the iceberg, like just the kind of the top of it and, most people are just going to be like, well, you didn't really mean the conversation that we were talking about, so it was...
I think people are very intimidated by networking, and so we tend to um, ask surface level questions, right? Because we're either not comfortable ourselves or we don't know what to say. We don't know if they're truly interested. But if you lead with the intention of how I can help you, and this is how you can help me, but you've got to be bold in asking the ask, right? This is how you could help me. Keep your eyes open for a plant manager role. I placed one of those last year. So there's all sorts of roles out there depending on what your field is, what you're working in. Those are the industries that you want to be networking within because those are your people. So look for those or go to Craig, or look for other people that are like Craig or myself. Feel free. My contact information's down at the bottom. I'll go back and give all that to everybody, and my cell number. You're more than welcome to reach out to me and connect if you've got more questions that you just didn't feel comfortable asking in this group. And here's level
Mom,
3.
do you want me to like write it down on all of there?
No, no. I'm gonna put it up here.
Like enlarge it?
Yeah, my number's right there.
At the very
512
bottom.
922 8445. I do live in Leander.